Hey friends, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new here. My name is Julie. I am a mom to 5. We have been homeschooling my oldest is entering 5th grade. We've been homeschooling since the beginning, since he was in kindergarten. In today's video, I want to just share some encouragement, some reminders, some tips for you if you are just beginning this homeschooling journey. I know that there are a lot of families who are taking their kids out of their regular school, private school setting and bringing them home to homeschool. And I hope this video will also be helpful to you if you are just beginning your homeschooling journey, your child's entering kindergarten and you're just starting out homeschooling. These are just a few tips, I guess, that I have to remind myself of and that would have been beneficial for me to know before I began this homeschooling journey with my family. My first point is you are qualified. You're qualified to teach your children. I don't know how many times I've heard someone say to me, oh, I couldn't do it. I'm not smart enough to teach my kids. I don't have the education I need to be able to teach my kids. And I am by no means saying that homeschooling is for everybody, but you are qualified to teach your children. You know them best. There may be subjects that aren't your strong point, and so you can choose curriculum that will help your children best. And you can hire a tutor if you think they need that extra help, but you as a parent are qualified to homeschool your kids. My second tip, and I know that this is said so often, but I don't think it can be said too much, and that is you do not need to replicate school. When you start homeschooling your kids, it does not need to look like education looks in public schools. Some parents do like to teach their kids and have them all set out sitting on desks and have a very traditional school schedule, but that is not necessary. Homeschooling definitely does not need to, and I think is often better off not looking just like it does in a traditional school. Like I said, I've been homeschooling my kids from the beginning. I was actually homeschooled myself as a child as well, so I am not experienced in this, but I have seen recently people talking about deschooling. Deschooling is for people who have kids who have been in the public or private school setting, and that public school culture is the norm for them. The process of reconnecting as a family and just discovering the joy of learning. So what I've seen recommended is that if your kids have been in that public or private school setting, you should be deschooling them for 1 month for every year they have been in school. And if you as a parent have been a teacher, you need to deschool for an even longer process. I really have just learned the bare minimum about what deschooling is, but if your kids have been in a school setting and you're now bringing them home to homeschool, I think that looking up deschooling and educating yourself on that process could definitely be helpful for you. My next point is to take your child's interests, their learning style, your family structure into consideration as you choose your curriculum. So if you have only one child, the curriculum you choose may very well be different than what you would choose if you have 3 children. If your child is a very visual learner, you're gonna choose a different curriculum than if they are a hands-on learner. So don't always go off of what someone else says is a great curriculum. Make sure you look for something that will fit well with your family. When you homeschool, your kids likely will not be progressing at the same grade level in every one of their subjects. So for instance, my kids, I definitely have some that are a couple of grades ahead in math, and then they're a little bit behind in their spelling, or they're very learned in history, but in grammar, they're a bit behind. I wouldn't really say that they're behind, but they're not on par for what in your typical school setting would be that grade level. And it's okay. Learning at home looks completely different. For my kids, I just want them to be progressing. I want them to be getting better, learning more, gradually getting higher in the grades. But if they're not at the exact level that their peers are expected to be in a public school setting, that is okay. Don't let an off day make you think that you're not a good homeschool mom. And I have definitely had days like that. Like we drudge our way through school, and by the end of the day, I'm like, I'm not cut out for this. This isn't for me. I am not the best teacher for my kids. They are not learning like they should be. I'm not patient. And just going through all these negative thoughts, take a step back. You are a good homeschooling mom. You want what's best for your kids. Everybody has off days. Take a break, do something different. Do some read alouds. That's one thing that if a school day is not going well, or there's attitudes, or I'm tired, we'll just sit down, really connect all together as a family, and just sit down and read aloud. Start again the next day. You're a good homeschooling mom. Enjoy spending time with your kids. Sometimes that's easier said than done. But anytime somebody asks me, what is your favorite part of homeschooling? For me, I love being with my kids. And some days, trust me, I think, wow, I would have a much better day today if I could send my kids to school for, 6 hours. There are days that I don't love every single moment that I'm with my kids, but overall, I love that I'm the one who gets to influence them. I love that I'm the one who gets to learn their learning styles, who gets to learn more about them as we are learning together every day. Take time to do the things that you really love doing together. Read aloud, sit down and read books together. You are the teacher in this situation, or the principal, or whatever you want to call yourself. You get to choose what field trips you take. So some of those trips your kids have been really interested in, take a field trip. You need some PE time during your school days, so go for a hike, go drive to a park and spend some time there. Sit down and watch a movie on the subject that you're learning. Just really enjoy the time that you get to spend together as a family. My next tip is to put your relationship with your kids as a priority higher than the completion of their work. And I am very type A personality, and I am very naturally have my list, check off all the boxes, make sure we complete all the work we had planned for that day. But if I am stressing about that and just pushing my kids to get their work completed and not having that good relationship with them, whether I am impatient with them, getting frustrated if they can't understand something I'm trying to teach them, as their mom, as their teacher, who they are spending the most amount of time with, I am playing a major part in shaping their character, shaping what kind of adult they are going to grow up to be, whether we're going to have a strained relationship as they grow up and I have been yelling at them every day because they're not understanding something. Instead, I want to have a close relationship with them. I want them to know that they can talk to me about anything. I want them to know that if they are having a hard time understanding a concept in their schoolwork, they shouldn't be afraid to come to me and tell me, because I'm going to be frustrated and say, why can't you understand this? I taught you this before, etc. They need to know that mom is patient. I will take the time to explain it to them. And if they don't get their work done and we just talked it through and got one question done, that is okay. Don't make your family fit into this school mold. Make school work for your family. So be flexible in how your day runs. Just because the school your kids were going to started at 9 o'clock doesn't mean you need to start school at 9 o'clock. Your school day does not need to take 6 hours like it takes in public schools. You could just do school in the afternoon. You could just do school in the mornings. You can do school 5 days a week. You can do school year round. You can do school 6 weeks on and 1 week off. There's no one right way. So make school work, make it fit into your family life rather than feeling like everything in your family is stopping and just solely school. This is our school day. You can make homeschooling work for your family in a way that fits your life best. My next point is to let rabbit trails and questions your kids have take control of your day. In our house, math and reading and writing, those are very important subjects. And we do, you know, the extras too, the history, the science. But if one of my kids has a question and they really want to delve into a specific topic, we can talk about that, we can research it, we will kind of take that rabbit trail and keep going down that path, because that is what my kids' current interests are. And I know this is very like unschooling style, and like I've said before, I love the idea of unschooling. And so again, it still goes against my type A personality. I have to just like, okay, this is good. I'm not gonna shove this information down my kids' throats when what they are really, really interested in is this other topic. If my husband is doing some gardening, yes, he does most of the gardening in our house, or if I am doing some baking or we're building something, a lot of those real life experiences are such an important aspect of learning for our kids, and that is one of my favorite parts of homeschooling, is that we can have these real life learning breaks all throughout our day. My next point is to find a homeschooling community. Look on Facebook, Google, ask friends around you if they know some other homeschoolers, especially with the amount of people just starting out homeschooling this coming year. I think that there are going to be a lot more homeschooling co-ops popping up, and just other parents that are looking for fellow homeschoolers to meet with. Whether you're meeting as moms and just chatting about homeschooling, or you're having play dates as families, or learning co-ops, find some other homeschoolers and plug in with them. I have so many friends who don't homeschool, and I have many friends that do homeschool, but if I want to talk about homeschooling, it's so nice to talk to other homeschoolers, because they get me, they get it. Our kids can feel not so out of the loop because they're homeschooled and their friends go to school. It's nice for them to have other homeschooled kids to meet with, to spend time with, and feel that they can relate with each other. My last point is find the book, The Unhurried Homeschooler by Dorenda Wilson, and read that. That so far has been my favorite homeschooling help book for moms. It's a very short read. It's just a very thin book, but she has so much wisdom to give in that book. She has a large family. I don't remember how many kids she has, but she homeschooled them, and her testimony and her experience with homeschooling her kids is so helpful. It has been a big encouragement to me, and that is definitely the one book that I would recommend. Okay, I said that was my last point, but I do have to say, don't compare. That is huge with homeschooling too. Don't look at other families and think my homeschool needs to look like that. They're doing homeschool with this schedule, or they're using this curriculum, or yada, yada, yada. Your homeschool is not gonna look like anybody else's. So don't try to make it fit into this mold. Make it work for you. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope that this is a help to you. Please give it a thumbs up if it is, and share it with some other new homeschooling moms, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of our videos. I have some curriculum hauls coming up in the next couple of weeks, so subscribe if you want to catch those, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.